This spring, we got in some Crescent TruDrop Planters. We wanted to have some big planters that were self-watering, planters we could leave for any amount of time and not need to worry about how the plants were going to look when we came back. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I wanted to show you these Crescent planters. We're going to go ahead and show you us planting them up in the greenhouse. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about how exactly the whole system and the process works with these Crescent TruDrop planters. Let's take a look inside the TruDrop planter and show you exactly how it works. So as we look at the inside of the planter, you'll notice there is all those little holes, and that is where the water is going to wick up through. So this is kind of tiered as it goes down. So you want to make sure you're packing your soil in there nice and tight. We do recommend the first time that you're watering, or actually probably the first 3 times you're watering, water from the top down. That way your soil gets fully saturated. Once your soil is fully saturated, then this will work as like a wicking mechanism. So the water that's down in that reservoir will wick into the soil, and as the roots need it, the roots will pull up just the amount of water that is needed for them. As we head on over here, you'll see there's a little indicator. This blue indicator lets you know how full or how empty your water reservoir is. So when it's sitting down like that means that your water reservoir is empty. When that blue little indicator is at the top, that means that your water reservoir is full. This little button here, or tab here, is where you will fill your reservoir. You could just pop that off and then put it back on again. That way it keeps mosquitoes and other bugs from living down in your little water reservoir area. So you just snap that back on. On the side of this Crescent planter, we'll actually go over to the one next to it to show you a little bit better. On the side, this is an easy drain hole. So when you're finished at the end of the season, you want to dump all the water out, there's a plug that goes on here. You remove the plug and then you can just drain out any excess water. So you can use, you can bring these in for winter storage. On the bottom of the planter is this little red button here. This you would leave in if you're going to have these indoors. And if you're gonna have them outdoors, you wanna remove this. This is where any excess water is gonna drain out of. So let's say you fill your water reservoir and you get it nice and full, and then you have a heavy rain. Where does all that excess rainwater go? You don't wanna create a bathtub effect. You want any excess to be able to spill out from your container. And all the excess water after a rainstorm, if it overfills your reservoir, would come out through the bottom here with that red little button removed. You'll notice too how there's a lot of like holes and kind of gaps in there. That's really nice because then as the water's exiting out, it doesn't kind of get trapped underneath. It can make its way out to the landscape or wherever that might be. Another nice feature with these is they are really heavy duty material, double walled. So you got the wall on the inside here and then a nice thick wall on the outside. So that too, in the winter, if you would choose to leave your plants in, could help potentially with overwintering. Now, if you are planting things in here, obviously annuals, they're not gonna overwinter. But if you put perennials or shrubs in here, we would recommend, if you are a zone, let's say 6, that you would put perennials and shrubs that are potentially, ideally, a zone 4, although you may get away with also shrubs that are zone 5. But the colder the shrubs or perennials can go, the better your chances are of overwintering them here in this Crescent planter. So we're excited to get these planted up. Rod just headed out to the greenhouse. He was kind of getting things all set in the planters, and I kind of changed his plan a little bit. Sometimes that happens. But he had a really good thing going. We've got these beautiful begonias. He has some red Mandevilla that are going to be climbing up the trellis. He's got nice salvia that was on the outer edges. And then he was going to put some white diamond frost in, which is all really good and will look really pretty. But I said, how about we add a little bit more red in? That way, until the Mandevilla vine is flowering, it will just give us a little bit more splash of color. So he set the geraniums in there for now, and he's out back trying to see once if there's other things he may want to put in here. So we'll see what he comes back with in a few minutes. He says, you know, we're planting so many geraniums this year. Who's going to be the one to deadhead them? He says, he's the one that always deadheads them. I just kind of ignore them. So I have to do a better job this year if I want geraniums of making sure I go through and deadhead them when they have the spent blooms. So here's to me and hoping I actually do it. Looky there, he found a few things. Some giant diamond frost. That's gorgeous. All right, so let's see. So these are planted in an 8-inch hanging basket. When we planted up the landscape, we planted all the landscape plants in a hanging basket. That way, number one, we can grow them up in the ceiling so it doesn't take up valuable floor space, but also two, that way the plants are larger to start with. And then we're super glad we did it this year because with such a cold season this spring, we had a very late start getting out in the landscape. So we could just start off with bigger plants that had more impact right off the bat. So that worked out pretty good. And when we're planting, we kind of have a rough estimate of how many plants we're going to need, but we always kind of plant over a little bit. That way, if some don't do good, or if we come up with other projects where we need some big plants, we have some available. And that's true for the begonias as well. Those two are in an 8-inch hanging basket, so that's why they're really nice and big to start off with. So that too gives us a lot of color just right off the bat. So rookie mistake, he got them all kind of settled in, the dirt all in there, but we forgot to pull out the red plugs. The red plugs do have to be taken out, especially if you're planting your plants outside, because that's where any of the excess water is going to drain out of. So when your reservoir is full, it'll drain out of the holes. But thank goodness they're kind of on that pallet, so he could kind of just slide them over and untwist the plugs on them. So that worked out good. So these planters have been in place now for approximately 3 weeks or so, and they are doing fantastic. And the thing I like about them is we can go ahead and fill them up and not worry about what they're gonna look like during the week. We can come back on the weekends and come back to just absolutely gorgeous looking plants. So for those of you who maybe have a cottage or a trailer or someplace that you go to just on the weekend and you want to enjoy flowers not only at your house, but you want to enjoy them at your weekend getaway as well, these are a good solution for being able to enjoy flowers and not have to worry about hiring the neighbor kid who may or may not remember to water your flowers while you're gone. Let's take a look and see how they're doing. Bright and bold was definitely the color palette we were going after. So this little area here is at the bottom of a roof, and that roof drains off right into this little pocket of planting area. Last year we planted this up with some echinacea. We had a few other things in here, and they did really pretty good, but we wanted to be able to get the plants up and off the ground so that way as the water splashed, it wouldn't splash and hit the plants. So the nice thing is with these planters, they're set back just far enough that when the water does come off the roof, it doesn't hit the planters. It hits kind of down in that little area there where you're seeing all of that mulch. So they're set back far enough that we don't have to worry about all that runoff just totally pouncing and trampling the plants. So what did we do in here? So Rod was really excited about adding trellises and obelisks into containers this year at home. He did something very similar, and I'm liking it because what this is doing is it's going to go ahead and it's going to let the plants get even taller in this space. It's going to cover up this brick wall with beautiful flowers. So what did we use in the planters this year? So we've got red geraniums in here. We've got Euphorbia diamond frost. We've got the Selenia begonias, and then we kind of repeated it. We kind of like that symmetrical look. In the back there is the salvia, and that's giving just a little bit of that medium height. But then on these trellises, as summer goes on, we have some dipladenias planted in here, and these are going to continue to grow and fill in this space. And then hopefully by mid-July, we'll have some beautiful red flowers in that area. Again, we did a twin planter on this side as well, the same plants. You can see this one is slightly a little bit shadier, so we'll see if that matters as the summer goes on, if the plants here on the far left don't get as big or don't do as well because they don't get as much sun. But so far, everything is filling out really nicely. We water these once a week. We fill up the reservoir. It's got a really large reservoir in there, and it keeps these plants looking good while we're gone. So this here is an indicator, and you look at that blue indicator, and depending on how far down that center little bubble is, that lets you know how full or how empty these containers are. So as long as you're still seeing that blue in the center, you know you've got plenty of water going on. But once that drops down and you no longer see it, you know that you need to refill your planters up. So nice indicator that lets you know just how much water needs to be used. Also too, the nice thing with this is if there is any extra, like if you fill them too full, it'll drain out the bottom. And also too, you don't have to overfill them, because if you see you still have plenty of water, don't bother getting out the hose, because you know there's still plenty of water in here. So sometimes, depending on what you plant, you can even go 7, maybe even 10 days between needing to fill up those water reservoirs. This space here was another kind of just a little awkward space, not a super big space. We planted lantana in here last year, and it did pretty good, but Rod was always worried about having to get out the hose and watering. So he placed 2 more of the Crescent planters in here, and these are slightly smaller because it's a smaller space, but it just fills in this gap really nicely. And again, a lot of the similar plants were chosen for this space, with the Euphorbia diamond frost, the red geraniums, the begonias, and then also the salvia. Where he did something different here is he put the Pennisetum rubrum grass in the center, which is a beautiful burgundy grass. So as they continue to grow, that's gonna have kind of like a peak in the middle of these 2 planters. He planted it in the middle of both of those planters, so it'll be kind of a higher peak in the center, and then it will kind of tear down to those purple salvia, and then the geraniums and the euphorbia on the outer edge. So we will be sure to update you on how these are doing as the summer goes along, but so far I am very pleased with how they turned out. The bold splash of color that they have here by this deck and by the garage, and they're just, I don't know, I love what he chose to pair together in these containers. What do you think? Do you like the colors? Would you plant this combination in your containers? I'd love to get your feedback. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And if you're new to our channel, I welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.